It's all standing. Thank you for this beautiful day that you have blessed us with. We ask you, Lord, just to guide and direct our meetings and our minds and our thoughts, and Lord, the choices that we make as we do the business of the Cherokee people. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. You do the roll call?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Dick White.
Here.
Harley Buzzard.
Here.
Bill English.
Here.
Keith Austin.
Here.
Matt Baker.
Here.
Joe Bird.
Honey.
Sean Crittenden.
Honey.
Don Garvin.
Honey.
Frankie Hargis.
Present.
Wanda Hatfield. Rex Jordan.
Here.
Curtis Snell.
Here.
Janice Taylor. Here. David Thornton.
Honey.
Victoria Vasquez. David Walkinston. Brian Warner.
Honey.
Leo LaPointe.
Good. I'd like to ask for approval of minutes. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, minutes pass. Reports with Marcia Lab.
Afternoon, Council.
Afternoon.
Okay, I just have a couple of things. First of all, we have just completed our second Warriors flight. It was great success as always, and this year, I'm sure all of you know, but I'll mention it anyway, that they're going to be one of the stories highlighted on the Voices of the Cherokee People. So we're looking forward to seeing that. There were 11 of them, and each flight seems to bring different stories, and some of these were very unique this year, and we hope to continue this because it's nothing but good in all aspects. I just want to tell you that LIHEAP has started. It's been going on about a week. We're trying different ways to make it better, not only for the staff, but for the clients. So we have started that process just a little bit early this year. Of course, we can't make any payments until we get our funding, but we'll have at least the hard part out of the way, and that's the application. Good. And then if budget allows, and that's the way it's always been, then we'll do a crisis program, which will be open up to everybody. And that's if they have a cutoff or something, and that will usually be about January, February, something like that. I wanted to give you guys kind of a heads up that we have had to change the policy and eligibility for our Youth Community Leadership Grant. And that's the one where they get the $200 and they can go out and do volunteer program. The reason we've done that is because this year our budget was cut, and it was in half, and so we've had to raise the ages from 10 years old up to high school age. We say 18 in the policy, but as long as they're in school, we'll go ahead and help them. But I expect that you guys will get some calls at some point, and it'll be on a first come, first served basis. That's all I have.
I got besieged here. I'm gonna go down the line. Frankie?
Marcia, I had a question on the coat vouchers. If a child did not receive the clothing voucher, can they get a coat voucher?
That's an extension of it. We always try to, if someone needs a coat, we always try to find a way. You know, if it,
How would they go about that?
they just need to come in and see us, you know.
And to you?
Yeah, if you'll give me the name and the circumstances and telephone number, we'll
Okay. Thank you.
try to find something.
I'm good.
Thank you. Victoria?
Yes, thank you. Marcia, on the youth leadership program, can you tell me how many we did serve last year?
It was right around 3,100.
3,100. And it was age 10 and up? then?
Yes,
But
yes,
now you're
ma'am.
raising the age?
Yes, ma'am. Our,
It's now 10, okay.
now this is, I'm just talking to youth, I'm not talking adult, I'm just
Right,
talking to
right,
youth.
that's what I was asking.
So
Okay.
it's 10.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Janice?
And what I want to know is where can a citizen get a LIHEAP application if they haven't applied for that before?
We'd like to do our own application, so if you'll
If I
just
get
give
your
us.
name and phone number?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And the reason we do that is because it's elders. Sometimes they'll open up about something else, and while we're sitting there talking to them.
Okay. Okay, I'll get that too. I'll send you an email later on.
This is just a history of LIHEAP. We have tried we did a survey about 5 or 6 years ago, asking our LIHEAP participants if they would like for us to just mail them the application, and so they wouldn't have to come in. And the majority of them, they like to come in. They come in and visit their neighbor. In fact, they're usually here before we are. And they get to sit out and talk to people and visit, and they look forward to it. And so we figured this is a way for our elders to talk and visit the Cherokee Nation. Sometimes that's the only time of the year that they do. So
Okay.
we're
Well, I'll just send that name and phone number on to you and you can reach out.
Thank you.
Thank you, that's all I have.
You're welcome. I've got Harley next.
And I think this has been addressed, but back to the youth leadership grant. I guess I was shocked when I heard the amount that was cut from it because, we heard from the presenter that it was a flatline budget. And I took flatline to mean that we were going to be what we had last year. And then I got 2 calls last week about these youth, and they were young kids. I think they were 11 and 12-year-olds. Wanted to know what happened. I said, well, it should be there because, I thought that we were doing a flatline budget, and I thought it was in there. And then I checked with Marcia and her staff, and they said, no, it was $350,000 cut off of it. So it's kind of hard to cut programs once you've funded them for a year or two and just cut it out. So I suspect we're going to have more calls over this, and I don't know if there's anything we can do about it, Marcia, but I don't know what the answer would be, but I sure hate for these kids that participated in last year to be said, no, there's none in this year. So if that's the way we're going to do it, I guess that's the administration's call. But I just wish we'd have known about it when the budget cycle was here. We might have could have done something with it to get it back up. But when they told me flatline, I didn't look at that particular budget this time. But I guess that's what we get for not scrutinizing. Jody, I talked to Jody about it, and I don't know that he caught it now. But anyway, I just have let's say bitter taste in your mouth about it when we think of a flatline, and it's not. It's $350,000 short. Because when you fund one program, then you cut it, it gets awful difficult to tell your people out there that's no longer there. So anyway, I just want to put that out, Marcia. So
we're doing everything we can when we're giving them a copy of the policy, and we're telling them, get your stuff in, because it's a first come, first served basis. We're doing everything we can to make sure that the clients know.
that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Buell?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Marcia, on the LIHEAP, you're gonna expect everybody from way up in our area to drive all the way to Tahlequah?
No. We
Or you're
go
gonna do
to
some
them.
outreach?
Yes.
Okay, well, you said a while ago we want them to come in and visit.
Well, Cherokee Nation has offices in different parts, and that's one of the programs we make a lot of home visits too.
Right, and you always have, but
Yeah.
I thought maybe
No,
just
no, no,
cutting that
no, no,
out.
no,
and-
not here.
They're going to drive down here.
There are sub offices.
Okay. I feel better now. I know there's gonna be a lot of people that will not drive Tahlequah for a blanket.
Well, no.
So,
And speaking of our blanket, we are making plans
Okay.
for design. So
Good. Okay. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you.
What kind of design are you working on?
Well, now, that's, I tell you, but I'd have to shoot you now.
Let's don't do that.
We're just looking, seeing what's out there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, go ahead.
On the LIHEAP, where do they get an application?
On the LIHEAP, just call us and we'll get to them, okay? You got somebody in mind?
Yes,
Okay, give me a name and a telephone number, we'll get it to them.
thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Anyone else? Go ahead, sir.
Marcia, is the elders that want to do that, is it a different application than the youth application? The elders that want to work and get their 20 hours?
There's not much difference in the application, I think it's actually the same one.
So the elders can use that same
Yeah.
kind of work thing?
I say yes, but, I'm pretty sure it was just one application that I saw.
If we run into anything, we can just get together.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anyone else? Thank you, Marcia. Appreciate it. Community Services, Ron Qualls.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Fine day out there. Looking forward to the council meeting tonight. Our departments keep churning out a lot of work for a lot of families. The housing rehab has this year assisted more families than we ever have. Quite an accomplishment, I think. With that, I'll just open it up for questions.
Any questions?
Oh, good. I'll see you.
No, you're not good. Harley, go ahead.
Ron, I don't know that, well, I guess you would have something to do with it, it's out of your program, but a bird told me this. Said that in the water and sanitation program, and I know back when I was in the program that we got our supplies from the warehouse over there. And they're telling me that we're quitting stocking infiltrator systems that we use for drain fields. We won't no longer stock those. We won't be stocking in 2-inch pipes for water line extensions. And then the 4-inch pipe. Those are really popular items that I know those guys use almost on a daily basis. And I'm wondering why, and you probably may not know, why we're quit stocking those over there. What I understand is going to happen, what will happen, is they're going to go out on the open market and buy those. And naturally, you know that there's more of a markup if we go to a plumbing house to buy them versus going directly to the factory or where we get those items. So we should check on it and see. You know, I'd like to save as much money as we can. If we can save enough money to do 2 or 3 more of those systems, you know, not just that 2 or 3 more Cherokee families that we serve. So I would appreciate it if you'd check it and see why we're not going to be stocking them over there. I understand that we're still stocking everything else, and it's kind of ironic that there's only 3 items that's not going to be stocked. So. But I know it's coming from procurement or those people over there. But,
Yeah.
I think you might have some input on it.
Okay, I'll
If
check
you
with
don't.
Sure will.
Thank you.
You bet. Victoria.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Ron, it may be early days, but when do we start putting out the word about the winterization materials for this year?
You got a date, Mr. Pruitt?
We're ready now.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
We
88
have a-
degrees today.
We still have to get bids on it. They're getting ready to post it on the website to purchase it.
Okay, good. So a community group that wants them, well, for instance, I'm talking about South Coffeyville, they just need to contact you
Us. Yeah, I
and
think,
then set it up when you can get into the community building?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I think they have our number.
I'm sure they do. I know they do. Thank you.
Rex?
On your well truck, y'all have a well truck, service truck?
Yeah,
Do you not carry parts on it?
Yeah, they carry some parts.
Had a family that was 3 days without water because the warehouse was shut down. They couldn't get parts. I was just wondering if they didn't carry parts or,
They do. Obviously, they didn't have the parts they needed for that
I mean, this
particular
was
house.
pretty, the parts that they needed was pretty common. And I was just wondering.
Yeah, let me make a note, but I do know they carry parts. And I do know that they've had a difficult time the past week in accessing the warehouse because they were doing inventory, and I know that was a problem. But, yeah, they carry parts.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Frankie?
On the rehab or the emergency handicap list, you say Adair County has 22 incomplete applications. If you would please provide Counselor Crittenton and myself a list of what these applicants need, who they are and what they need, we may be able to assist them getting their application completed. I think that would help all of us. And, you know, I'm sure Counselor Crittenton would be as willing to help them as I am. And if you'd get us an email on that, we'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Good. Janice?
Can I address Billy Hicks?
Only if you're nice to.
I had talked to you last week about a water project, and I wondered if you could just email me all the information that you have on that. I think they have done the income survey. We should know how many homes and how many Cherokee homes are serviced by that. Can you send me that information?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect, thank you. And I do want to, I said this in the email, but I do appreciate the way you answer my emails with all the information I need in terms that I can understand. So I appreciate you.
Wow.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Shouldn't have done that. Keep the pressure on the next time. Anybody else?
Just a comment. Go ahead, Counselor.
Mr. Foss, help me understand, what I do understand is I don't understand a lot about a lot of things, so I'm asking this question innocently, but I was requesting an update for a lady's house, and they said, well, we've got 400 apps needing inspectors assigned to them. And so how long has, how does that work? I mean, the 400, how long have they been behind that long?
Well, the last, I'm gonna say 3 months, we've had more applications come in during that period of time than we ever have. There is, I'll just tell you, there is going to be a slowdown for families. I mean, if we're used to serving 40, 50, 60 a month, and then we start getting 130 or 140 a month, you can see some of the families, it's going to take us longer to get to them. It is. It's going to take some time. Right now, we have 70-something houses being bid out right now. And, many of them will be bid again and again, simply because of our contractors not bidding. Or they have a lot of work to do and they don't feel like they need to bid right now. So, yeah, that's a problem.
That's probably a right number though, 400. And like an inspection, like, I don't understand exactly what that entails, like inspection write-up. Just the average, is that something they could do? Like if a guy goes out to inspect the home, is that something that takes a day, 2, a week for a guy to do? Or?
Depends on where it's located, but yeah, it's going to probably take a day the time he gets out there and back, and then when he gets back, he sits down and does the cost estimate. It'll probably take a day. You could take longer, but it'll
Right,
probably
and
take
like I
a day.
said, I appreciate you guys. I was looking at it, then I seen, so the 400, is it gonna,
It's just that
Yes.
when we get that estimate, that's part of it. And then the next thing we're gonna do is send it over to the environmental, because they have to know what we're gonna do to the house before they can give us the environmental. So then it goes over there. So then it comes back, and it could come back within a day or two, depending on the house, or it could take a little longer.
I'll just, like I said, I'm just looking at it, 400 behind, and I think we got 18 inspectors, construction inspectors.
I think 13,
And,
yeah.
13? Okay, I must have counted wrong. But, and then the lady sent me back, well, they have the inspectors have other things to do than just inspect, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna have to do the cost estimate too.
And is that kind of a day?
No, the
Like
cost
if one
estimate,
guy could go to a house, could one guy do a house in a day?
I think so. Do the cost estimate? Yeah.
That was, I just, want all the kind of, with that many inspectors, that just might not be a big deal, 400. And please take this, I was just looking at it, 400, you got 18 inspectors. If they did one a day, that's 22.2 days, and I thought, that's,
Yeah.
but I mean, I know it's not that simple,
Well,
but
nothing really is, but yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah. This should take a couple of weeks, and you'll have those inspections done, and hopefully the biggest part will cost write-ups.
thank you.
Yeah, and the environmental probably may not be there yet, but yeah, it can go okay. Just whether or not we can get all those, I'm not sure where the 400 came from, but
Well,
if we can get all 400 of them done.
yeah, I got an email from, I can't remember the name, I can show you. Thank you so much, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Chief?
Just comment. David, thank you for your quick response to a community that was having plumbing problems. Email was sent last night and it got taken care of today. So I appreciate you and your staff.
Ron, this is a little out of line, but let me ask here, these are your submissions on the new business, on the resolution authorizing the housing rehab and those three. Are those all tied together, and if we don't vote on one, then it blows up the other two? Would that be correct?
Would be correct.
Can we vote on those in total, present them separately, but vote on those in total? Would that be okay with
That'd be
you?
good. That'd be fine, yes.
And do they need to go over tonight?
Yes, they do.
And Shelley, would that be?
Yes,
Thanks.
they're all ICDBG,
Right. Okay, that's
The,
correct.
the adopting standards for housing rehabilitation, where's the standards at?
That's when we get to those, we'll ask that question. Okay. Thank you, Ron.
Sorry about that.
Stay awake.
You're good. Honey, you're on it. Thank you, Ron,
Okay.
appreciate it. And Mr. Cooper.
Good afternoon. I did have one update I wanted to, actually I have but one update I wanted to give you that wasn't on your monthly report that was submitted because, one, there's a little bit of lag
Just
time because.
hold on just a second. Ron, we're gonna have some questions. I wouldn't leave the room too soon.
Okay, I'll be right here.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry, Jim.
Oh, that's okay. Since the report that was presented was for the month ending August, I did have one update for sure that I wanted to tell you. For our college housing assistance program, this semester we are able to assist 161 students. So that's how many students that we will be assisting this semester, and that would be up to $1,000 a student for non-HOSTA eligible students to attend college. So that was a good thing that I wanted to be sure to mention. There was, I think the original report had on it maybe 84 or so, but of course a lot of that is waiting on information to come back in from the students before we can actually determine them to be eligible. So we do right now have 161 for this semester that are eligible and will be receiving assistance. Other than that, I think you have my report. I did mention last month that Deputy Assistant Secretary of Native American Programs at HUD was retiring this month. He has retired. A gentleman that I know and several of us know by the name of Randy Akers, who is the administrator for the Northern Plains region, which is the Denver office of HUD, is the acting in his place. So he's filling that position on the interim basis, and he is Comanche. Randy's a good guy, and I think that he'll be able to fill that spot for the interim until they get someone on board to fill that position on a more permanent basis. Roger was there for 13 years, so it's a big job that someone's got to fill. So we will see how that goes. Other than that, that's all I have, unless anyone has any questions.
Any questions? Harley?
Just curious about your those housing scholarships.
Yeah.
Is the majority of them here in Colorado or
No.
spread out quite a bit?
They're all spread out quite a bit. I don't have the exact breakdown this month. They will show up on next month's report.
Sure.
You can see there was 84 reported on this report, and it has to break down by county there.
Okay.
So the requirement is that they have to be NAHAS eligible. They have to live within the Cherokee Nation because they are NAHAS to fund, so they have to live within the jurisdiction. They can go to college anywhere.
And those funds are paid directly to the college?
Yeah, to the college or the landlord. Because there's a lot of colleges out there, even some here locally, who do not have, don't have enough housing on campus.
So it can go to the landlord?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but it goes directly to whomever the landlord is, whether it's the college or a private landlord, and not directly to the student.
And if you pay $1,000 to a landlord,
Mhm. It's usually split out over, it's not $1,000. I figured it might have been. It's not $1,000 all at one time. We usually divide it up into about 3 payments.
thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else? Good job.
Thank you.
Roads, Michael Lynn.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Start with some of the projects that we've got under construction right now. Kenwood Bridges along Kenwood Road in Delaware County. Contractor spoke to him last week. They hope to have all 4 bridges completed, or they're hoping to have them all done by the end of the year. There's one of them that may not be done. I have mentioned in past months in my report that we have had some issues with some asphalt paving out on one of those bridges, as well as the Wycliffe Bridge in Mays County. Since that report, or last report, they have gone out and milled out, I believe they milled out 2 inches of the newly laid asphalt because of the roughness. They've milled that out, and they will be coming in and overlaying that to try to smooth everything back out. I'm being told that that the milling operation was successful and did take out a lot of the highs and low spots that they had, and that the overlay, if done correctly by a good contractor, would smooth all of that out. They are planning on, both contractors, both of those separate projects, are planning on using a different subcontractor to lay the asphalt than was previously used. So I anticipate both of those projects being re-overlaid within the next couple of weeks. I think maybe even next week if scheduling works out right, good for both of them. So the Wycliffe Bridge, as I just mentioned, is nearing completion. That is one of the last things that they do have to wrap up on that is the asphalt. Of course, it'll need to be restriped and everything when they're done, but that project is nearing completion. I want to mention the CNI project south of Stillwell. That part of that project was concrete paving, part of it was asphalt paving on the westernmost portion of that. The asphalt paving has been completed, which is about half of the project. It's a pretty short project overall, but half of it has been paved with asphalt. The other half is still gravel for right now because they are constructing a reinforced concrete box for drainage. So that box will take a little while to build and get poured. But they are working on that. And as soon as that is completed, they will come in and start the curb and gutter, curb and street concrete portion and get that thing opened up to traffic. Right now, traffic is being diverted from the west down Duck Lane and around that way to and from, but they're working hard to try to get that back open because it is a bit of an inconvenience, not only for the folks that visit the food distribution center, but the delivery trucks. There's a tremendous amount of truck traffic that come in and out of there, so they are working, trying to get that back open as quickly as they can. 10 Killer School Road project, located in South Cherokee County here, runs right in front of 10 Killer School. The notice to proceed was sent out a week or so ago. They are scheduled to start November 2nd next month, and that is a 220 calendar day contract. And we do have a pre-construction community meeting scheduled out there on the 20th of October at 6 p.m. at the 10 Killer School cafeteria. So that'll be where we call the community in, introduce them to the contractor, let them see the faces that they're going to be living with out there for the next 200 and some days, and we can tell them to ask that guy and standing there to any questions or problems that they have instead of calling us. So no, I'm kidding about that. But we do want to make them familiar with the contractor and let them know what's going on. Lastly, I want to mention the transportation reauthorization bill. We've been keeping a real close eye on that. You guys may have heard or may keep up with it in the news, but the current bill that we're under is something called MAP 21. That bill has been extended to the 29th of October. We are expecting another extension until December on that current bill because neither the House or the Senate have been able to get anything worked out. The Senate has passed their version of a long-term bill, something they call the DRIVE Act. We have reviewed that and feel like the provisions in that act are good for Oklahoma and Cherokee Nation. We are waiting on the House to develop their version and pass it, and then they'll go to conference together and try to mesh the two bills and come up with one single bill to present to the administration. So we are keeping a close eye on that, and I don't see anything happening real quickly anytime soon, but it's something that we are keeping a close eye on. That is my report, Mr. Chair. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions? Harlan?
Michael, I noticed there's some road signs up on 59 saying Kenwood Road is closed, bridge out. Which bridge is it?
Bridge that I think is closed down is it's going to be one of those 4 bridges there that, and I can't, they have numbers. I think it's Bridge 53, I believe, that is closed down.
I guess my question is, why couldn't they do a sheet line around it? I mean, that's been closed all summer long, and those people are starting to gripe down there.
I think there's not a shoe fly detour. I don't think there was room to put a detour in, but there is detours around, and I know it's probably several miles out of the way. But I do know they're trying to get it open as quickly as they can. Been talking to the contractor. He hopes to have it back open really quick if the paving crews can get in there and get it paved, get everything done.
I went around, I checked on it 2 times in the last 6 months, and it's been closed, but the road that you got a detour, it's rough.
Yeah,
And
no.
so the last time I turned around, went back around the other way, because I didn't want to drive that rough road, and I've had 2 or 3 people call me driving, and I said, well, I guess they couldn't put a detour in the thing.
I'll find out.
Better.
Yes, I'll find out what the status is and let you know.
Okay, but sooner the better.
Sure.
And I have a couple more questions. Who's the contractor on the 10 Killer Road?
Glover and Associates out of Muskogee.
And then, just for the benefit of the other tribal council members here, what is the total impact of the roads program in the state of Oklahoma? I know Muskogee Service Unit is what, 50 million, 40 million?
As far as Oklahoma tribes or just Cherokee Nation?
No, Oklahoma tribes.
It's 60 million, 60 million at least.
60 to 80 million.
Yeah, it's going to be every bit of 60.
And so, those are big impacts. Those are federal dollars that goes to the tribes in Oklahoma, but all of those federal dollars are spent on state roads. Well, not state roads, on county roads that are major and minor collectors, $80 million. So it's a big, need to let them know. but mostly of Miss Cherokee.
Those legislators, a couple of months ago, I mean, in fact, we didn't even have.
Mike?
Here we go.
My name is Shay of the Small Business Center. Report was submitted before the mortgage assistance to 100 full year. And that's about average. That's about what we do every year, anywhere between. That's on target. And then one other thing I wanted to mention is effective October 3rd, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's know before you owe mortgage rule went into effect. That may or may not have any significance to you, but I just wanted to let you know that that rule is in effect and it will not have any negative impact on the mortgage assistance program. Basically what it's done is it's slowed down the closing process for banks and closing companies. So previously people only had to have their final disclosures 24 hours before they closed on their mortgage. Unfortunately, even though that was the rule, most families did not get their closing documents until they sat down at the closing table. And even then, I'm sure many of you have seen mortgage closing documents before. The print was very, very tiny. It was difficult to read. There were terms used that the layperson is not familiar with, made it difficult to understand. So this know before you owe mortgage rule has really slowed down the process, and it truly is for the benefit of the consumer. The print is much larger now on the documents, and the rule requires that the lender provide the final disclosure at least 3 business days before the closing. And the trick to that is it's 3 business days for the consumer to review it. But if the closing or if the lender mails the documents, they have to include 3 additional days for mail service. So basically it would be 6 days before the individual could close, 6 business days. And Sunday and federal holidays are the only days that don't count. So I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of information about that to just let you know that we anticipate some consumers to be upset in the beginning because it is going to slow down the process. They're not going to be able to quickly close. There's going to be a little bit of confusion, I think, between closing companies and mortgage companies and lenders while they implement this new rule and figure out they've all had to utilize new software. So it's definitely a learning process for everyone. But it will not have any negative impacts on our ability to provide mortgage assistance. And in fact, we are very happy about this rule. We, about 2 years ago, have instituted a rule for the closing companies, individuals using mortgage assistance, that they provide the HUD one to us at least 5 business days before closing. People did not like that. The closing companies were very upset with us. The lenders were very upset with us. But it gave us an opportunity to fully review the documents and identify any issues before the closing was scheduled so that hopefully closings didn't have to be rescheduled. But anyway, so I just wanted to kind of fill you in about that. And if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them. And you have our report. And if you would like me to answer any questions or address anything, I'd be happy to.
Any questions? Am I the only one that ever read those documents? You know, they sit you
You
down at
probably are.
closing, and they give you 10 seconds to read a book this thick.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, on old business, we have a, Denise, could you read that in for us on that presentation?
We have a presentation of the Cherokee Nation Angel Project presented by Nikki Baker-Limor and Rachel Fuller.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
I have a booklet for everybody that I was going to leave behind, and I'll just give you a brief summary of what the Angel Project is, because I know those of you that are new, especially the constituents, will always kind of ask questions about this. So Rachel will hand those out, and I know you guys are on time crunch, so just briefly, 2 or 3 minutes. Do I have enough time to kind of summarize? Okay. So basically, the Cherokee Nation Angel Project has a mission that Cherokee Nation will provide gifts for Cherokee children during the Christmas holidays whose families meet a certain income guideline and who live within our Cherokee Nation boundaries. It started in the 1990s and continues to be an initiative of every acting chief. Initially, we only served about 100 children back when it first began. However, it has grown. It remains the chief's initiative. And we currently served last year 2,016 children. So from 100 to 2,000, quite the growth. Notice with income requirements are emailed and posted within Cherokee Nation departments the last week in September. Then applications are taken in the outlying areas the last week of October, and then for Tahlequah, the first week of November. So it's right around the corner that we're going to start taking these applications. We specifically distribute angels to the casinos and to Hastings Hospital, and they actually buy for those children. The rest of the angels are placed on the tree near administration. There's a big Christmas tree, and we hang those on that Christmas tree. As far as our deadlines, the angels will say the deadline on there. They are returned unwrapped. We inspect them, and then we distribute them all within 2 weeks. So we are very, very busy trying to get, Christmas done for 2,000 children during that time frame. Last year, the Tribal Council provided for 68 angels. We appreciate your support. An average, if a child is not picked by an individual or by a casino or the Hastings Hospital, is there's enough money for us to spend about $40 per child. So we always hope that the children get selected, because a lot of families will go out and they'll usually spend a little more than $40 on an individual child. But if they weren't selected, that's usually about the amount that we spend on them. So in a nutshell, that's the history. There is a flyer. It is the second tab, and that's really important for you guys because it sets out each town, the date, location, and the time that we'll be accepting the applications in those areas. I know we added Oshaleta at your request there, of course, and so we can, of course, show off our new health center and then also make it more convenient for persons in that area. And then on the very back of your handout are the 2 contacts. Hetty Charbonneau is one of my program managers, and she has these counties: Washington, Nowata, Craig, Ottawa, Tulsa, Rogers, and Delaware, Wagner. And then Rachel Four, who is with me here today, she has the southern counties, which are Mays, Cherokee, Adair, Muskogee, Sequoia, and McIntosh. And it was just easier because there are so many counties to have 2 different individuals trying to head those counties up. But I know I talked fast and I tried to provide a lot of information quickly. I'd be glad to take questions, but I just wanted to give you an overview of what the angel tree is and let you know about the dates coming up, and then the ability to answer questions if somebody were to call and ask you anything.
One thing on this one, on the flyer, could you
Yes, sir.
email it to all of us so we can spread it out to
Sure, that will not be a problem.
constituents?
You want us to email it to each of you? Sure.
All of us, yeah.
Sure, no problem, sir.
Or take it to Gail and she'll bring it to us, or she'll email it to us.
Okay.
One of the 2.
Sure, we'll do
That's
that.
the easy one, probably. Send it to one person, she can send it out. Do you have any questions? Yes, sir.
And you probably said that, but you'll run kind of fast for me.
Sure.
When's the deadline to have the apps in?
Um,
And then when are you gonna make the distribution? That's the 2 things I want to know.
The last thing we'll take applications in Tahlequah is November the 6th. That'll be at the OC over and all that week. We'll be taking applications here in Tahlequah.
So dates are different for each, is that the dead date for everybody? November the
That's the last
6th?
day we're taking applications.
And then when are you gonna make the distributions for Christmas?
December 11th, Brandy?
It depends on where the applications were taken. The week of December 11th through the 18th each site will have their own distribution date. The people who make the application, they'll get a pickup slip, and that date will be on there for them.
So it'll be really easy whenever they sign up with the application, they'll be given a date at that time. Right, okay. And then you're gonna get calls about emergency situations. Someone had a wreck on the day. We do go ahead and provide for those. It makes it a little tougher on us, so we try to limit and staff it, but of course, if you guys give us a call and somebody really meets the criteria, we budge a little, so we do that.
And if a Stillwell person misses the Stillwell time, I mean, ideally, they'll go to Stillwell and go to Stillwell.
Sure.
They might can sneak to Salis off they missed it, or?
Do we allow that to
Yes.
them to choose whichever community?
Whichever site that they choose to take their application at is where they're also will pick up their guests.
Okay,
If they miss any of their sites, like the last week of October, which is all the sub areas, then they'll have a full week in Tahlequah to do their application.
Thank you.
You guys do a good job on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
She did it, quick. All right, where we at?
Oh, new business.
This is,
Ron, could you come forward and, I think what I'd like to do here is get a volunteer to read all three of these resolutions. We'll consider them in total, but we'll ask questions individually, I think, is what I'm
We're
hearing.
gonna approve this one,
We're not gonna approve it until we vote on it.
well, but we hadn't even seen it.
Okay, that's one of the questions. Frankie, could you read those in?
Read all three of them?
Yep.
The first one is a resolution authorizing the appropriation of $267,000 of housing rehabilitation funding for the FY 2015 to match the ICDBG application. The second one is a resolution certifying compliance with 24 CFR Chapter 94103 edition 1003. 604, citizen participation. And the third one is a resolution adopting standards for the housing rehabilitation. I put that in the form of a motion.
Second, motion and second. Okay, now we're gonna open this up for questions, because I know I've got some. Rex, you have
Yes. Yes, I
an
do.
important question, sounds like, so.
The standards for housing rehabilitation, where they at?
I've asked the staff to make copies, and we'll have them before this evening's meeting. Matter of fact, they may be available before this session is over. Mr. Pruitt is going to find them and get us a copy, and they're in the regulations. It's what it is. It's Section 8. Rehab standards is what it is. And so we'll
So
get
it's Section 8 rehab standards,
Yes,
is what
it
you're
is.
saying?
Yes, it is.
That's exactly what it is?
That's what it is.
Okay,
Yes.
Ashley's printing them off now.
okay.
She'll print them off.
So it's not standards that we've designed, or your department's designed, it's Section 8 standards?
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
okay. I'm good, thank you.
Answers a lot.
Any other questions? Janice?
On this application for the ICDBG application, is that a grant we've had before? Is the amount consistent with prior years?
The grant has been $800,000 ever since I can recall. I think it has been a little more than that, but generally speaking, it's been static at $800,000 from HUD. Our contribution has gone up because HUD now, to get maximum points, we have to match HUD's contribution plus our contribution to 25%. We have to provide 25% of HUD's funding as our contribution. And this year, it's went up $17,000 because of that.
So the 200,000 would be our 25%. What's the
It's
67?
actually $267,000.
What's the 67? Are you saying it's more than 25% match?
No,
Is that what you're
on our match, we also have to pay 25% on that as the match to get the full 8 points.
Could you clarify, do we have to come up with the 267 plus 25, is that what you're saying?
No, it's 267,000.
267 is the total.
Okay.
Then you said something about 25.
That is the 25%.
Okay, I think that's what you were asking. She asked that
It's
question.
not 25% of 800. So
No.
where's the 67 coming from? That's my question.
The formula that HUD gave us to use, and we are using it, it's almost a never-ending battle. But if you multiply 25% of HUD's contribution plus ours, you're going to get $267,000.
Okay, so we use HUD funds for housing rehab, and we have tribal funds for housing rehab. we have to supply 25% match of the HUD funds. The 67 is the 25% of tribal funds.
It's actually 267,000. I mean, is our contribution is 200, the grant is $867,000.
Yes, and 25% is the extra 67 coming from. I mean, why are we doing that? Is that 25% of?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good.
Jack,
You got that?
Jack, did you have you were pointing at me, I don't know if you had a clarifier there.
I
I was just going to say there was 25% of the 800,000 is the 200,000.
Uh-huh.
And then 25% of 267,000 is the 67,000.
Oh.
They didn't write it that
So
way.
it's no, but that's the 267,000.
All right.
Government formulas.
Uh-huh.
Did you have something?
I just have a comment. The rehab standard here we're looking at is Section 8.
Yes.
How come we didn't list Section 8?
Should have been.
Okay.
Sure should have been.
You know, Secretary, he's president, with, and I'll support it, but we should have had all of this written down. Because to vote on standards that you don't, you're just shooting in the dark.
Sure.
So,
Good
you know,
point.
all I'm saying is, you know, we need to get these things to us ahead of time so we can make the right decision for our people.
Okay.
If I make a hasty decision, a lot of times I'm prone to make a mistake. So that's all I ask. Try to get these things to us ahead of time so we can review those and, you know, so we can all talk about it. You know, I may go ask some of these council members, do you understand this formula here? And right now I'm clarified on the 267,000. I wasn't clear on the Section 8 part. And now I am. We just need to get these to us ahead of time. That's all I can say. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Let me, we've got a couple of minutes. Do you think those copies can be to us here in just a few minutes?
Why don't we take a 5-minute break?
Let's take a 5-minute break.
Yeah.